Hey there everyone, my name's Nathan Elson, and today I'm going to show you how I use one light to create two completely different portraits. One that's this super moody black and white, and the other that's got this super soft, natural vibe to it. But with that being said, let's just jump into the studio. The first look that we are shooting today are the Moody black and white portraits. For gear, I am using the Godox AD600 Pro 2 with the 51-inch umbrella with the diffusion material attached. And the background is a 9-foot white seamless paper backdrop. I have the lighting about 4 feet away from the model and angled so that the lighting is coming from more of the side to help create more contrast and shadow in the final images, because I want these portraits to be moody, and shadow is what creates mood. I am also feathering the light, meaning that I have the model positioned so that she is sitting in the back 1/3 of the modifier so that the light can feather across her face and body. This method of lighting creates those beautiful transitions from your highlights to your shadows. Now, I did decide that I wanted Leticia to pose in more of a crouched or seated position, so I had to adjust the angle of the lighting so that the light was still from the side and not from above. So I lowered the lighting with my baby boom arm to account for the change in the model's position. But aside from that, everything else remained the same. For the background, I want the white backdrop to fall off to a light gray. So I have the model positioned roughly 5 feet from the backdrop, which allows the background to darken ever so slightly, and tonally it just looks amazing in black and white, which is why it's one of my favorite go-tos for black and white photography. Now, I shot all of these portraits with a 50mm focal length, which lately has become one of my favorite focal lengths to shoot with, as it allows me to get in close to the model and play with more angles. The lighting is metered to f8 at 1/200th of a second at ISO 100, which means my camera also needs to be set to f8 at 1/200th of a second at ISO 100. And when you tie all of this together, this is what we created. For this second look, we are shooting in the front foyer of the studio, which is a small space with white walls and large windows. But during the summer, the sun hits too high in the sky to really come through the windows in an effective way to create directional light. So I had to bring in my AD600 Pro 2 with the 51-inch umbrella to help create that directional but natural light feel. Now, the whole point of this lighting is to work with the ambient light, not to overpower it. And we started off shooting with the window light coming from the side. So I positioned my lighting up high and to the left to help mimic that natural light coming from the windows. This helped to fill the space with light, as well as create a direction of light to help shape the model's face and body. Now, as we see here, this is what the natural light looks like on its own. And then this is what it looks like when we add in the lighting, which, as you can see, helps to create shapes so that the portraits are not falling flat. The white wall is also acting as a reflector and helping to bounce some of that light from the side back in towards the model's face and body to help lessen the contrast and create a softer feel to the portraits. We then moved into a position where we were facing the windows, but I didn't want the lighting to be coming straight at Leticia's face, as that would have created a very flat light. So I moved the lighting over to the left, but I kept it up high so that it would still mimic the natural light coming from the windows. I also shot all of these portraits using a 50mm focal length, as we didn't have a lot of room to work with, and also I'm just reverting to the 50mm more and more with my work. Now, the lighting and the camera were both set to f2.8 at 1/125th of a second at ISO 100. And when you put it all together, this is what it ends up looking like. And so there you have it, a super easy way to use one light to create two completely different looks. Now, if you guys have not subscribed yet already, make sure you do so, because I'm going to show you next week how I create portraits that look like this. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.